Allow? Did that one work? Did that work this time? Hopefully I can see it working on my OBS. Maybe that means it's working now. Hopefully. Anyway, while I continue to wait for community feedback on sound, you can hear me now. Yay! All right, let's get started then. So today I am working on finishing touches for this thing that I've been working on all summer. This has been my summer. Let me try click the right thing now. Desktop. Ha! About the news of the day. The news of the day. Do the CL drops need activation? That is a good question. Let's see if we have. I will type that question into my handy work chat. CL drops for the stream happening. Okay. Go. That dinosaur came down with sickness, so it's a slow day for KRZY flying the spaceship. Get rid of this piece of paper now because I'm done using this piece of paper and all the snow that it created. Appreciate you, snow. The Uber Clipper have enough competitors now to be released. Oh, good. Sometimes they start today. Sometimes they. Let's get this up. I don't feel like. Hi, Teddy. Good. Good to see you. My face. What would I do without you? Okay. I was working on other things. That's right. So for the news of the day today, there is this cool thing going on. Maybe you've heard of it. And it's where we give everybody back their Waffenträger that was so wrongfully taken away. And I say wrongfully taken away because there was no nerfing that thing into oblivion. They just removed it. Pretty funny. So there is the Waffenträger Legacy. And now we get to meet the daughter of Ermelinda Young. That is kind of the Halloween event. They say it's going in September. Not really Halloween, but it's running up into that point. Here are the fall plans. This is the other one. Full shebang. Hi, Teddy. I know you ignored me all day, and now I'm actually not talking to you. You wanna say hello? Okay, so September Battle Pass, Season 9, Season 9 on the global map, the Waffenträger Legacy, and then October is Onslaught and Halloween. So maybe it's running all the way up into October. Are they giving a new Tier 7 Premium or King Tiger game? No, not that I know of. They're giving the Waffenträger. That's coming. That's coming. There's no dates in this. Oh, you should probably. No, yeah, I did that. Okay. Okay. So much. Hi, Kara. He's not naughty. Oh, there's also something else I wanted to start in on. So starting in today, I'm doing this cool event for KRZY Creative. Now, this is going to be a collaborative team effort where myself and the community will work together to create a cool 3D tank. And I'm saying 3D tank, 3D printed tank. So, with all that being said, here is the forum for this topic on how the community can join me in this cool collaborative event. So the gist of it is we're going to go to this new cool scene. Almost. You can't see my. I turn the mic up. I can turn the mic up by transforming it and rolling it out into my face. So now that it's in my face, there we go. Because it is all the way up right there. I don't think I can do anything else. So anyway, this, yes, my cat's here. He's chilling. So this is the forum page. It's a very intricate event, but I tried to dumb it down and into what it's going to be. And I will answer questions on the forums if need be. But the gist of it is you go to this Thingiverse thing that I created. And this Thingiverse thing has files for you to download. And these files are like this. Not this one. This is too small. So this is one of them. And this file is called, I believe, the connection prime obj. So if you are into 3D modeling and you know how to do all that fun stuff, then this is the route for you. You'll notice that this is like a 6-sided thing where there are little points for every little piece that you can plug into. And the goal for the community is to take one of these little shapes and make an attachment onto this point. So for like the first week, I'll be dropping this. Like this is the whole thing. So you can now download this from Thingiverse. And you can start creating, what are we doing first? The hull. Yes, so we're doing the hull of the tank first. And I forget which side that is. But there are connection, what do you call them? They're just squares. They're 3D objects. They're 3D squares that plug into here that you can glue in. Pretty simple and easy to do. But then basically you're creating the part, and then I'm going to be 3D printing the part, and then assembling it, and then painting it on stream. And that's going to be a whole thing. I'm making 5, and when we do our Halloween stream, there's going to be a winner of the community created tanks, 5 of them, kind of like a raffle thing. And then there'll be lots of entries for this thing, and there is a Google form for that, which you can find in here. Nope, not here. Here. This Google form. Ta-da! You click on that Google form, and then you're going to submit your design for that week. Pretty cool. Oh, KRZY. My kitty's name is Theodore Puddlesworth, and I call him Teddy, but he is my cat. He is my adopted cat. Lucky me. He's a pretty cool cat most of the time. He's very vindictive. I mean, what cat plans your 15 minutes in the shower to pee on your bath mat? I don't know. Why do you do that? Why was that a thing? Were you mad at me? Huh? Huh? Yeah, I'm talking to you. Sure. Anyway. Yeah, he's supposed to be a cuddly cat. But wouldn't you know it, he does not like to cuddle. He's not a fan of the cuddles. He's a fan of, I want to see what you're doing, and maybe hang out in the same room as you, for a couple minutes, and then I'll leave because I've made my presence known. That's all I need. He was cute to start out with. I would go to school, and then when I come home from school, he would be outside on the porch, and then he would meow at me when I came home. He's really cute. Anyway. There he is. That's it. That's my cat, everyone. Big hi. And then, who are you talking to? Good, you're not crazy. Adios, I'm leaving. That's my cat. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So, there are prizes for getting selected. With the upcoming Waffenträger event, I will be giving away keys to the Waffenträger. I didn't tell anybody that, so keep it on the DL. I suppose I'd get in trouble for that. I don't know. There was an ability in the past 2 years where we could give out keys. I don't know if that's a thing. I might have to edit it. But yeah, that's part of the prizing. The other thing is you got these credit boosters that are happening, XP boosters, crew XP boosters. And that's just if your design gets picked. And we are doing an internal vote on what we want to get printed, and then I will be doing the printing. I don't know how involved the printing process you guys want to get. I'm also working today to get up today the ability to just draw it out, because I know that some people don't have access to 3D modeling software or computers, but you might have the ability to sketch it out and take a picture. And as long as the picture is done in 3 views, front, top, and left or right, I can do that myself, so it's not a big deal. But the same kind of thing applies. I will put in the scale of this actual thing on my forum post. I kind of ran out of time today doing that, making sure everything else worked and was able to be downloaded. But yes, that was all of the upfront things that are going on today. There's not a lot content-wise for the Frankentank thing beyond saying this is what it is. Go to this website, download the Connection Prime if you're going to 3D model it, download the Connection Hull, which is just a cube, and it just kind of fits into one of these spots. I can't remember which one. There's a bunch of them. But basically, yeah, we're going to be making a tank off of that. There are rules. I forgot to mention there are rules. There are some things that... Here we go. Rules for part creation. So, this tank can get weird. I'm cool with it getting weird. But when it gets weird, I have to be able to make it look into a tank. So, no matter what track are designed, the ones that go all the way past the hull, the ones that go up to the hull, I will be making sure that they fit in here properly and that it fits level on the ground and can still be a tank in some way, shape, or form. Yes, it can definitely be a fancy tank. Yes, yes. You can do everything else that you want to do. It's just the most liked one will get printed and be made part of the collection. And then I will print it. I will print it, paint it, put everything, all that kind of thing. Accessories are kind of up to you. And that can be anything. Waffle makers, Moss turret on a yep, we could do that. That sounds like fun. I'm not streaming as consistently for Crazy Creative, but I stream at least once a week. So throughout the weeks of September, when I'm streaming, I will make that part of my announcement is what part 1 and where we're at in the construction of said part. Because I do have a hard deadline of when we do our Halloween stream in the office, we're going to be announcing the raffle to get everybody out. So it's not going to be as long as one of my normal streams of I got to put this T-55 tank together and find 65 million things to do on the way of putting that tank together. I think that I covered everything. It didn't cover everything. I think I gave you enough information. Did I do the link? I don't remember if I did the link, but here's the link anyway. There we go. Boom. That one. There's that link. And yes, I'm still aware of I need to do the thing for the people that don't have 3D, the option for 3D modeling, which not a big deal. It's literally I'm taking pictures of this in orthographic views of this is going to be front, top, side, and then I'll give you measurements so you can actually like, oh, okay, cool. It's going to be this big. Awesome. And then you can submit it with, is this here? Yeah. You can submit it here with the Frankentank submission form. I do need your email because because the winner gets stuff. So that's like the one thing I would require. Oh, email is on here twice. Oh, hang on. Let me. Yeah, I need to collect emails. Yeah. So I need like your email. You're probably going to be putting in your email twice. The World of Tanks email is the one I really need, so I can actually credit people their prizes. Their prizes. All right, let's go back to what I was supposed to do. No one said hydrate, so I'm going to do it myself. Ugh. That was a lot. All right, moving on to the normal stream now that all that is out of the way. And then I don't know, did you guys want a small tiny one like this one, or did you want a big one? Frankenstein's tank, I think is the proper thing. So I made two sizes. I was like, let's go big. That's the one I think that's the one that's actually in the Thingiverse files. But yeah, I'm excited to see what the community comes up with and makes me print. I'm excited for that. What am I doing today? Today I'm working on mud. And what I mean by mud, what do I mean by mud? So last time, if you joined Crazy Creative, I did this cool thing with the tracks. And I made snow, but because why did I get that? So I made snow, and then I put the snow in all of the places, and now what I'm going to be doing is turning the snow into mud.
I can't believe you've done this.
You can't believe I did that. So yes, that's what we're doing today. We're doing finishing touches of painting mud, which probably shouldn't take me a long time. But I also did this cool thing where I took toothpicks and then I whittled them down with X-Acto blades. Didn't cut myself. And I made the cage that fell apart on me. Fell apart. The cage didn't fall apart. The cage disappeared. And then I moved. Did I move? Now it is really so. Yes, you got it. It's very fragile. That's why I took it off. I don't want to break anything. But yes, so that piece went missing, and I had to make another one. So I'll also be painting that today. Now that all that has been said, let's get into painting. Do I want to paint orange mud? Yes, we're gonna go with contrast paint first, and then I will even it out with the base. That's what we'll do. So contrast paint is going to be snakebite leather, and then I'm going to grab a brush, my favorite. Not this brush. Put the brushes out of reach for myself. There we go. This brush. I like this brush. Ah, that's funny. You're cruising for a Bannon over there, Mr. YouTube. Just saying. Cruising for a ban. Oh, hey, I did not. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's funny. Cry me a river. Timberlake. Interesting. There we go. This is just ink by contrast. And it's just going to look like mud. So I'm painting all this white stuff that's on here that was snow, and I'm making it a mud color. Make it look like it's dirty, muddy mud snow. Parked under a power line. Ha. It snows in Texas. I want to hear that. I am not a tanker. That wasn't my job in the military. But I do know that animals don't like loud noises. Smoking. Or people. But with all that being said, anytime there was a tank parked underneath a tree, I don't think the birds were there for much longer. Birds don't typically hang out in loud, noisy places. Especially when there's things getting fired at them. Every 4th of July, I feel bad for the birds. That's me. I mean, you'd have to be, right? Like, as a bird, on that day, you'd have to be like, hey, why is everyone firing stuff at us? What do we do? They have no chance. They don't know about our history. Freedom! Signed a very important paper that day. I hope everybody had a great weekend. I know I did. I spent Sunday playing Jackbox games with some friends. Not winning any of those games, because if you ever come across the wild turkey, they are vicious. I have never met a turkey alive. All of the turkeys I've come into contact with were dead and, I'm sorry, Mom, but very dry. With Thanksgiving coming up, I am looking for any type of like a way to tell your mother that she makes a dry turkey. That's not offensive. And that, like, when you say it, doesn't get you uninvited from Thanksgiving. Because she does make a bomb, like an amazing, pumpkin pie. She makes a really good pumpkin pie. So, like, I kind of have to endure the dry turkey, a single serving of it. And then just to be able to get to the delicious pie at the end of the meal. You saw a bobcat in your backyard. Bobbing around. Being a cat. Do you have chickens? You have chickens in your backyard? Muddy, 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 muddy. Someone said that I wasn't allowed to put mud on the tracks specifically because no one ever hangs out on tracks. I believe it was Cranky Monkey. It was a cat named Robert. Yeah. That's fine. Roberto the Bobcat. Contrast paint. Yay! Contrast paint. I'm surprised this one didn't come with like axes and shovels. This whole tank model kit came with like a machine gun and a person. And it didn't come with like, oh, and a log. And logs. No, one log, not logs. One. But like the other tank models I put together filled with shovels and axes to cut down another tree if you need to cut down another tree. Something like that. I was going to airbrush this, but I'm still nervous about airbrushing. Even though I've done it like 4 or 5 times. Still nervous about it. Because it clogs the nozzle, and then I get frustrated because the nozzle is clogged. They are very skittish. From all of my experience in the outdoors, I've never met an animal that is just like, I really want to fight someone today, and just walks out of the woods and just starts picking a fight. There's usually a reason. I would say moose. A lot of moose do that, but that's because they think that the moose female is the most beautiful thing in the world, and that everybody around them wants the female moose and nobody else does. Moose are scary. Moose just fight random things. They attack cars during mating season. They'll fight everybody. So this mud looks very bad right now. I'm aware. I also went to the comic book shop over the weekend, and I made a pact with myself a long time ago, saying, "Oh, I'm buying this set of comics from this period to this period, and these are the ones I'm collecting." Because I don't know if you're aware, but comic books don't end. Why would they? But what they do rotate is they rotate their writers consistently for new arcs and adventures with your favorite superheroes. Now, I, in the past, have been collecting Spider-Gwen comics, Spider-Man comics, all the way through the recent Spider-Verse stuff that they've been making movies off of. I've been enjoying it very much, and I thought I was done. And then as I was walking through this comic book store, I found a new run of Spider-Verse, Into the Spider-Verse. And in case you're curious, when Spider-Verse first released, that's where Spider-Gwen came out. And all of the multiverse kind of started coming together. Where they're like, oh, now there's a bunch of Spider-Man. I think the first one that did it was Shattered Dimensions. Shattered Dimensions was the first one. Where they were like, there's a Spider multiverse. Did you not know that? And then later on, because that game was kind of popular, they did more comic book runs on the whole thing. They did Spider Island, and then from Spider Island it went into the Spider-Verse, and now they're jumping back into the Spider-Verse And I was like, well, dang it, Marvel. How could you release another story arc of the Spider-Verse, making me break my pack? Making me like spend money on comic books that I didn't really want to spend anymore because it was supposed to be done. But they're milking it. And I'm kind of okay with it. Yeah, 2099. That was I enjoyed that one. But 2099 is weird. It's set in the far future, and wasn't there a show where they did the future? No, it wasn't the future. Spider-Man goes to like this weird planet where it's kind of like Earth, but it's inhabited by a bunch of like animal people, and like it's kind of like Spider-Man 2099, but it's just weird. It was just a weird show. I never got into that one because I'd watched the original Spider-Man kids show, cartoon show, and was like, oh, this is cool. And then they did Spider-Man Unlimited. That's what it was called. Kinda. Spider-Man comics are kind of like premium tanks and what. You have Stan Lee autograph comics? Oh, that's cool. $5. Excuse you, sir. That is a. I'm glad. I hope you didn't take that deal, because obviously he's just looking to profit. $5. I had a bunch of old comics that I took to a comic book store, and the guy was like, "Yeah, I don't really want to buy these," and I'm like, "Well, I really don't want them anymore, because they were just like old trade issues that I'd found from like random people giving me comic books, or you know, if you like comic books, you find some and you're like, oh yeah, that's cool. So like I had a bunch of those, and he was like, yeah, I don't need these. I'm like, well, I don't want them because they're just taking up space. They're not part of a collection, and they're just really old and not that fun looking. So I asked him, and he was like, well, you can just leave them here. I'm like, that's fine. I can just leave them here. Otherwise, I'm throwing them away. So he's like, oh, I can't let you do that. I can't let you throw them away. I'm like, all right, well, fine. Here, they'll take up your counter space, and you can give them away to people. I'm cool with that. That's that side. Well, I'm not done. Sorry. I got too excited painting mud. Yeah, I went to a convention to see Stanley when I was in college, and I got a chance to like go to a panel that he was part of. He kind of like flubbed his own line. I don't know if he did it on purpose, but the great power comes great responsibility line, he kind of messed it up. I don't know if he did it on purpose to get like the crowd participation, but he did. And then I got a chance to take a picture with him. They told me don't touch him, and I was like, for the amount of money I paid, I'm putting my arm around him. Like that's that's happening. So I did that, and then he's got like this face on him where he's not excited that I have my arm on his shoulder. It's a really awkward photo. But what can you do? Fans, am I right? Fans. Eh, that's just that's always like a double. There's two sides to every story, right? Parents do their best to raise their kids with what they got. Some parents are better at being parents than others. Maybe Stan was an amazing writer, but not that great of a dad. You don't know. Family drama is always family drama. I do know for Like I saw a interview with him, and for a guy that like created the Marvel universe, his wife had everything in plastic. All of the furniture was in plastic. Zero like Spider-Man memorabilia. I get it, like that's your life, you created that, but not one Spider-Man statue, not one Spider-Man comic, not one Fantastic Four thing. Like these are universes that he created, that he inspired, and then like he just and nothing. No X-Men. I got in a little bit of a fight with my sister. So I'm still I need to call her, and I'm not looking forward to that either. But family, 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 what are you going to do? You don't get to pick them. There we go. I am satisfied with the covering of mud. That does not look like mud. I mean, you can, but that's pretty dark. I'm going to take them out with C4. It feels like a lot of work. Everybody's got their own thing. Anarite doesn't put you on the Fed's radar. From experience, thank you, KRZY. Toilet bomb. Toilet bomb. I don't think you could repair a relationship if someone goes through the anarchist cookbook on you because you're a family member. You oh, okay. That did these hornets claim a loved one? Goodness gracious. Did you just like go through and just decide not to use the flamethrower that you obviously have in your garage? Skipped over an entire arsenal of weapons to take care of hornets and just went straight to the tannerite. Screw that hornet's nest and goodbye tree that harnessed no housed such a vile creature. They had too many rules. For your safety and protection, I'm sure. All legal there. Okay. I don't feel like the tree needed to pay for dealing with the hornets. I feel bad for that tree. It's minding his own business. Hi, Insane Lex. Welcome to our disproportionate reactions chat. This guy at the grocery store shot me a look, so I set his car on fire. I didn't appreciate how he looked at me. That's kind of where we're at. How's that? Welcome to 2022. Do I do withering with liquid or powder, and why? I do not do withering. I don't know what that means. What withering means. You mean weathering? Weathering powders? No, I just use Citadel paints because they are easy. They dry quick and they layer very well with each other. But I have seen some videos with weathering powders, but my concern with them is the finish that goes on when you're dealing with powders compared to pigments and other paints. Powder is, I don't know much about him. I've just seen the results, and I feel like it contrasts from the paint job too much compared to other paint styles. And then also, the place where I buy paints doesn't have weathering powders. But I have found out about chipping mediums, and that's pretty cool. I actually have some cheap hairspray, but I didn't apply it to this tank this round. But I do have another. How many? Which ones are up there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 other. 9. I have 9 other tank models that I can still put together and do chipping medium, and I guess I can look into weathering powders. Commander AF wouldn't help you with a flamethrower. I understand. Who wants to be responsible for giving someone a flamethrower? Of course, see, now every time someone says flamethrower, my mind goes to use pretzel salt method. Okay. Well, Exo, you could leave it outside, but then you'd only get the weathering in the form of plastic. Whereas when you want to weather a tank specifically, I know you were kidding, but when you want to weather a tank specifically, you want it to look like metal. So, Plasmo. Yes, I'm aware of Plasmo and Night Shift. Um, what's the other guy? I always forget his name. Eons of Battle. He's one of my favorites too. He is specifically a Warhammer painter and modeler. He does challenges with his friends where he'll go, let's buy a box of Warhammer and then let's paint it over the weekend and see how we're doing. And then they go through like Skype calls of, well, how'd you do? And they're both like, after 24 hours of painting, are like, I've had enough. But he also does weather powders and things like that. I know Plasmo because of all of his crazy dioramas that he does. And for me, I can never, that's a lot of dedication. And I don't like the outside that much to want to spend money on laser etched leaves and trees and put them into some foam with a tank and spell out an entire diorama scene. I like tanks. I don't really care for the outside. But I do respect the effort it takes to put a diorama together. I think Plasma is also the guy that's like, he goes on nature hikes and finds bushes and sticks and trees and is like, I could use that for a diorama, and then brings them home. Which is nuts. It is very pricey. And they're very gentle. Like, for the amount of money you pay for laser etch bushes and sticks and trees, they come in like cards, and then you have to peel them off of the card, stick them into the foam, and then very carefully with tweezers randomize the how they sit. Like, when I watched him do it, I was like, that's a lot. I don't want to do that. I'm not that interested. Oh, I forgot to mention. So we have a common test out right now going on. I don't know if everybody has jumped into our common test, but we have a new competitive mode, tier 10 only, called Onslaught, and it's kind of like a scaled down version of Frontline. I'm very excited for it. Because it's like the Wargaming did what they could to make a fun competitive mode by removing a lot of extra people from the queue. So instead of 15 on 15 on a tiny, which makes all the maps tiny, now it's 7 on 7 on the same maps, but without the ability of like 6 other scouts spotting for the entire team. So like your chances of actually hiding and shooting and playing a stealthy sniper game is more realized in this mode. Like when I was playing Blitz, I didn't really see the point of playing a TD or any type of, like, all my loadouts for Blitz were close range because of how tiny the maps were. It didn't make sense. Like, any of the camo mechanics in Blitz are kind of not very useful because the maps are too small. So when I went to World of Tanks, playing World of Tanks on PC, I was like, oh, cool. I can actually hide and snipe as a TD. And now it's even better because now there's less tanks to find. Now you can hide better. The downside is it's still very team based. So if you have a teammate that wants to go be a sniper and just hide in the bushes all by himself, he can still do that, and it's probably going to hurt your team more than anything. The upside is there's actually power-ups to go fight over, so you don't have to all go to the same spot and fight. One of them is one of the power-ups lets you spot the entire team, but it's not instantaneous. You have to actually capture a point separate from like another objective point. So you're kind of, if you're a fast tank, you kind of want to prioritize that first, fight over it to make sure your team can see where everybody is at initially, and then go from there. But it's very, very fast paced. The games end quicker, and I enjoyed that. I enjoyed how quickly the games were. I don't think it's a disadvantage, though. I don't think artillery is a disadvantage in that mode. Maybe a little bit because the long reload. But you still have the ability to counter a lot of bushes that way. Hold down tanks are still a thing, which artillery counters very well. I don't think there should be more than one. Definitely don't think it should be more than one artillery on your team, because that kind of puts you in a corner. I think one is okay if you're trading speed for armor at that point. Cool, cool, cool. I like that. I like all that. All right. I'm actually going to give my log some love. Contrast paint. It's crap. Your M44 is crap. Ah! I haven't played the M44 in a little bit. But I do know that the M44, the shining, the advantage the M44 has is the HE damage bubble on the M44 is super big for the tier tank that it's in, for the tier that it's in. So like, you don't have to hit very close in an M44 to do damage to the entire, to do damage to the enemy, which is really cool. It kind of negates the whole, oh no, I missed. Because you still hit with the Sorry, you can't see that. There we go. I'm just taking some snakebite leather and I'm going over my log that I painted in June and have ignored since. There we go. Cool. I don't know, I did over the weekend, I think so. Have you guys ever played the Jackbox series of games? They're fun, I suppose, but for me, there's no like satisfaction of skill in those games. It's all like apples to apples or Cards Against Humanity. Oh, funniest card wins. Yay. Did you get a bad card? Because if so... I play RD2, proud pop up. I play RD2. And I don't think the leaf blower is, it sees tier 7, which kind of offsets it. So while yeah, you can go ahead and seal club, but like that's the only tier it's good against is tier 5, maybe 6. If I try to fight a tier 7 heavy tank with a left, I'm not doing very much damage. Even with the premium round that the left has, which for me never hits, or barely hits, or ricochets most of the time. I feel like it's okay. There we go. So now I got this cool orange, brown kind of color going on for mud. It's close. Close to mud. But it doesn't look very muddy, to be fair. Well, it's not even, so, okay, yeah, it has 104 pen. But the angle that it hits is supposed to penetrate the engine deck, which has maybe 76, barely 100 armor. Because why would you armor the top? Weird, right? Okay, so now I'm going to go through... I feel like that's too... I was going to use a specific shade of brown, but I've changed my mind. I want a different... I want a muddier mud. That's good. That's better. That one. Bud. I buy too many paints. I have a lot of the collection of paints. Some of it being duplicates. I own 2 of these Blood Reaver flesh colors. Go. Looks more muddy. You're welcome for the drop. No, it already does take skill. Cause yeah, you can go ahead and you can try to lob a shot at someone. But have you shotgunned someone in an arty before? Because that takes some skill. And then trying not to hit your teammates, that's also a little bit of skill. I enjoy arty because of how much you can learn from the game while playing arty. Because you're kind of out of a disadvantage with someone that's been playing the game for 12 years in artillery. As artillery, you don't have to know the map. But you can see where people stack up in heavy tanks. You can see where people hide in tank destroyers. And you can kind of like, oh, cool. That's where I should go if I'm a tank destroyer. And then you can go and branch out from there. Is arty easier to play? Yes. Let me tell you, arty is easier to play. We can also learn a lot from arty, from playing arty. Yeah, but like when you're zooming out, you're still in the game. You're like thoroughly invested in what's going on your screen. Whereas when you're playing arty, you have a chance in reload to be like, oh, okay, I can go move over here. I can go hide in this gully between my shots. And this is where all the heavies are stacking up. Let me move over here 4 degrees, and then I have a better angle of getting my shot and landing on a bunch of heavy tanks. I learned a lot about the game from playing arty. It's just saying. I don't have enough skill to play light tanks because I dive too quick. But like all of the map knowledge I gained was from playing arty. Well, if they have to get involved, they need to give them better armor, right? See, personally, I think as much as I don't like getting hit by arty, the fact that they have a 30-second reload is kind of painful. I'm already out of the battle. I'm already far away from everybody. Now I'm just kind of hanging out. Yeah. Light is definitely in one of those camps, so I'm doing my best. I can't do anything because I'm looking at heavy tanks and I can't really move. And then they yell at you, "Why aren't you moving?" Like, because if I move, I die. I'm stuck behind a rock. Surviving? It's not really a good good option for people in this game. What are you doing over there? Nothing? No, I'm trying to stay alive. Trying to make it to the end game. Because that's like the life of a light tank is hurry up and get out there to do nothing for 15 minutes and then towards the end of the game use your speed to go clean up. Ugh. I am not liking this dirt. Ruining everyone's fun for 10 minutes. How dare they? They have fun in the game. Alright, I'm gonna switch to steel drab. I also get mad at TDs when there's no light tanks left, and I'm like, obviously the TD is the next choice in being able to spot people. But the TD's like, no, I'm good back here in the back, hanging out. I'll let someone else spot. That one drives me nuts too, a little bit. Not. I understand. I get where they're coming from. Because as a TD, you're the damage. So you would rather someone else spot for you so you can get damage. But when there's literally nobody else on the map that can spot for you, you kind of got to pick up the torch there. Is it? Is it easy to outspot lights? I thought all lights had like a bonus to spotting. Yay, more variation, more mud colors. I'm trying to knock down the last color that I put all over this tank. Less yellow, more brown is what I'm looking for. Right now, all the snake bite color made it kind of like a yellowy brown. And I'm not for that. I'm not cool with that. Well, Lucky, don't forget that there's a point in the game where medium tanks, light tanks become medium tanks. I think the Cromwell is one of them. That's it's a medium tank, but it spots very well, so it kind of acts like a light tank. A lot of medium tanks fill multiple roles. They're kind of like the catch-all. So some medium tanks are really good at spotting. Whereas light tanks have only kind of like one thing, like, well, we spot. And we're fast. Kind of. We're not the fastest anymore. Well, the duck is tier 4. So like it depends on where you're at in the tier line. Like all the tanks in our game before tier 4, I think there's only like one medium tank or one heavy tank. Two or three. Whatever tier the Dirch wagon is in, there's only like 3 that you can pick from. I know from Showdown Saturday. The RHM Panzerwagen? Need to buff that one? I don't know. I kind of want them to roll back the changes they did to the T-29. I feel like that was a weird choice. I don't feel like our like those changes made were for our server. I think that was made for different server entirely that plays the T-29 more competitively. Oh, buff the model. Yes, yes. Clown cars don't count. They're just cancer. I think clown cars are an interesting addition to the game. I don't have a real big issue with clown cars because it's not like they don't die anymore, because they do. I'm looking forward to more changes for them, but they have been hit with three pretty hefty nerfs in relation to mobility. Now I'm using what do they call this? A shade, which is basically just a color wash of Agrax Earthshade brown from Citadel. And it's kind of like a dark wash brown. And what it does, it's very thin and very brown. And I'm going through now and I'm putting it onto the mud. Give it more of a muddy feel. Yeah, it's possible. It is definitely possible to still have a clown car bounce a shell. I've been in that seat before. It's very frustrating. But it happens to all the tanks, not just clown cars. So I should get closer to the actual model so I can actually see what I'm painting. Even though it is just mud, I don't really need. You don't want to look at mud when you're super close to it. You want to look at mud far away and be like, does that feel like mud? Teamwork. The colors have to work as a team in order to feel like mud or muddy texture. I agree. I agree. That would be more fair. I think it took us a long time to what do you call it? The myth about the auto aim, the auto lock aim that wheelies have. That's unfair. I think it took us a long time to convince our community that it's not really that big of a deal. But who knew that a bunch of ELC even 90s on the battlefield would perform as good as they do? I agree. They do. All tanks do have an auto aim lock. The thing with the wheel tanks is their auto aim lock can be utilized outside of clicking on the actual tank. Whereas normal tanks have to actually, like, you have to right click on someone, specifically have your cursor over them. When you're in a wheeled tank, you don't have to do that. You just have to get in close with the cursor click, and then it'll track it. But it's still not good. Like, unless you're point blank range, I have never had good success with the auto aim, auto lock, firing and getting damage. It's almost 1,000% better to press shift, zoom in, pick your weak point, and shoot that way compared to going into right click. I'll just click on whatever happens happens. Like, our game is HP is very important in the game, and to gamble it away at maybe this will do damage isn't the best option in my opinion. I've always regretted it. Yeah, at some point in the game, tier 8 and tier 10 spotting is bigger than the map. And I feel like that needs to be addressed, because why have maps that small? Because, like, you can't take, like, grand battles are a thing, but they don't happen enough for you to justify having view range that big. If that makes sense. I think auto aim just adds an extra layer of RNG to a game that has like 5 layers of RNG already. Ooh, Marnie. I don't know. I do not know why they took grand battles away from tier 8 and 9. CL drops are happening for the stream today. Boop. Well, for the longest time, maps weren't able to be developed because of our game engine. And then when our game engine was upgraded in World of Tanks 1.0, we got this sudden ability to make changes to our maps quicker and easier, which is apparent in all of the extra game modes that we released. The soccer mode, the return of the Chaffee races, that one. What's the other one? Technically, we didn't make it ourselves, but Frontline, those maps. What's the newest one that we have? Apology mode. And now we're adding maps like crazy. I feel like World of Tanks needs to update their map their map matchmaking, because it feels like when you log into World of Tanks for the first time, they give you like a pool of 7 maps that just repeat, which for an old game makes sense, but for a 12-year-old game, come on. Let's update that. What is the brand of acrylic sprite? So they're called Citadel, and they are created for the specific use of Warhammer 40k. However, they're really good model paints, in my opinion. I enjoy their range and their flexibility. And they also dry super quick, so you can keep throwing on layers, layer after layer, build it up that way. Some of their competitors aren't bad. some metallic paints that Citadel offers aren't that amazing. I'm not painting a 40k tank, so I can actually share some legit opinions. But for example, when I'm painting Warhammer tanks, for me, I like to use gold for all of my Warhammer HQ models. So this is one of them, and this is Citadel's gold paint. This is me just applying the gold paint without any base paint, like just using it as I'm painting gold here. So you can see like all the major brush strokes. And this is like 2 or 3 coats of gold that you can see on here. You can see it's not that great. It's not that amazing. On the opposite end of that spectrum, Citadel makes this lead belcher tank paint, which is their steel. It's their steel color. And it does a really good job of covering like all this stuff. This is all lead belcher. It has a wash on it, but all of the gunmetal is lead belcher, and it goes on nice and smooth and easy, and it comes out this really matte chrome, nice shade of silver. I love it. One of their best paints in my opinion. But the gold paint without anything underneath it, silver metallic wise, not a good option. Not a good option. But I do have some Vallejo paints that have lasted forever. They come in like these little bottles. The eyedropper bottles. And they keep for a while. They keep for a long time. Oh, that's Game Color. Master Paint series. Vallejo Air. Here we go. But I do have some like this. I use this for it's black gray, and I use it for any type of like tire or any type of like almost black rubber type feel texture thing. That's what I use that for. It's not a Citadel paint, but it for black gray it works pretty well because Citadel doesn't really do like in the middle colors very often. Like, what I mean by an in the middle color. So here we go. Brown. And then here's another shade of brown. Okay, well, for their blacks, they have Nolan Oil, which is a black wash, right? And then they have so they have this base Corvus black, which dries kind of glossy. And then they have Abaddon black, which is black, but it just dries in a different. It's not as glossy, but like there's nothing available between Corvus black and Abaddon black available for Citadel. So those are your black choices, and then you can also get their contrast paint of black, which is kind of in the middle, but it's watered down, so it's kind of like this the contrast paints. Bring back Carl. Yes, we should do 15 versus 15 SPGs. Everybody will love that mode. Everybody. No choice. If you don't love that mode, you just don't love tanks. There, I said it. There we go. This is all the mud. We're good. I think I'm good with mud. Does that look muddy? Team, is that enough mud for the mud god? Mud for the mud god. Funny story. We came out with that game before Rocket League. So Rocket League copied us. Not the other way around. We had a soccer mode before Rocket League had a soccer mode. We came out with another soccer mode Well, the second one, that was definitely might have borrowed some things from Rocket League, but for the most part, we came out with the first Rocket League. You're welcome, Rocket League. You're welcome. It's in our archives. I know it. Who said it? Bring back soccer mode and moon mode. I missed out on moon mode, and I regret every single day that I missed out on moon mode. Talk about a fake tank. A fake tank that I would like to be added to the game. It would be the IS-8 ball. That would be the tank that I would drive most often. There we go. I think I'm satisfied with Mud. German wheelies win. When they figure out, when the community is okay with wheels in the first place. So probably not for a long time, Essie. I think that's the biggest thing that's holding up more wheeled tanks being put into the game, along with the reason why we haven't sold the EBR ever since its initial release, is because the game developers are still not done messing with it yet. And they don't want to add to the problem before fixing the problem. Obviously, the developers like having wheeled tanks. They like the concept of something running around the field that's kind of fast, that has to be focused, that makes it a priority. The only way that a wheeled tank can spot you is drive by you. Like, it doesn't have any, its view range is garbage, and if you spend time trying to make that view range better, you're like multiplying by 0. It's not a good stat to try to boost. Would they? Would wheelies counter them? Because remember, the wheelies, they're still blind. And the Waffenträger, it's a TD, so like it loves to hide and just shoot. So if that wheelie can't figure out where it's being shot from 7 times, it's not gonna last. I am excited to see the changes in the matchmaker for wheeled tanks. I think that was the biggest problem with wheeled tanks, was a platoon of them is a lot worse than just one. Because if I'm trying to hold down a point or like hide behind cover and then I have 2 wheeled tanks just roll up on me, I really can't do much about it. Because I only have 1 shot at a time every 8 seconds. Whereas they now have 2 guns on me. And they can just drive to the back of the tank where all of the weak points are. Just blast me away. That was much worse. What does it do for the Manticore too? It depends on who's doing the firing for the EBR. As satisfying as it is to blow up a wheeled tank on the move, they do have to stop if they actually want to get a shot off. A successful long distance shot, at least. But I don't think Wargaming has said that they are done trying to balance wheeled tanks. So keep that in mind. Our developers have never said, we're done. Enjoy the game, we're done. So stick with it. Hang out. Take a break if this version is stressing you out. Remember, it's just a game. And it's a very difficult game. I think out of all of the games that are available on the internet, World of Tanks has got to be up there in one of the most difficult games I've ever played in my entire life. Like even now, like knowing what I know about World of Tanks, still is just whew. Like I thought EVE Online was hard. Just from the amount of stuff that you just get dropped into in EVE without, like, if you don't have a friend to play EVE with, you're kind of just hanging out trying to figure out what to do. Like, I guess I'll try to make money and somehow to buy this cool ship over here that I can do nothing with, because as soon as I try to fly through the deep dark space, I die to enemy people that have friends. Always lose out to popular people. What do you do? Well, I mean, it is like Call of Duty. It's got a lot of FPS vibes. Yes, the Eve, where you leave your best ship at home. Correct. The other MMO I used to play religiously, then I kind of fell out because I didn't they didn't add enough cool stuff that they could have added to it. City of Heroes was one of them. So I started playing City of Heroes when that came out. It was like, oh, this is a fun game. But there was never like a server raid or anything, like a giant monster to attack the city where a bunch of heroes would have to team up. There was nothing like that that went on throughout that MMO. Throughout the MMO's life, that was like, oh, cool. I can go do this. Instead, it was make a character, play the game a little bit, and then make a new character, and then play the game again. Like none of the armor that you could get was ridiculously amazing. Um, when the entire world is filled with superheroes, there's not a lot to do because all you wind up doing is just fighting the unsuperheroes, like unsuperheroes. So like criminals in that world are just like normal people that you're just beating up because you're a superhero because there's nothing else for you to do. Which made me laugh the whole time while I was playing it. I was like, "Oh, poor Thug John or Jimmy over here. Sorry, didn't mean to. Didn't mean to wreck your day. Why didn't you go get bit by like a radioactive spider? I don't understand. In this world where everybody can be a superhero, why didn't you get superpowers, Mr. Evil Man?" Then they came out with City of Villains. That was fun. It was like City of Heroes, but you're evil. Same issues. Only now you can fight heroes. That's fun. Check my Discord, Pims. Sure. Oh, 750. Okay. I shall do that. A bit early. I can do that. Got it. Are you rating someone World of Tanks for me? Is that how that's going on for the community league, or am I rating someone? Here, I'll just type it out. I'll just type it out. Okay. I guess I'm not rating anybody. Cool. No big deal. No worries. Yes, we only have 10 minutes left. 10 minutes. Yep, that's the other thing. But like EXO, you're right. People do chalk it up to that because they don't really want to put any more thought into the game. They just like it's just a game. Like I was 5 minutes late, Kaiser. Five. Maybe a little more because I had to make sure that my microphone worked as usual. Did I do this? Should I put down here? That's too much. Too much. There we go. Okay, so I guess I'll just do a quick recap on everything. I missed formation. Hi, Libarbu. Wait, it does? I thought the 3D camos don't outline what's not a hitbox. I thought that was an option that you can pick. You can pick which outline you want, where it outlines the whole thing, including the gun, like the tiny machine gun on top, or you can choose where it doesn't. Yeah, pick that. It's an option. Yeah, so there's two options when you select that whole thing. Like, okay, what's this? Let me switch to. So what am I doing? Okay, so there's this piece of thing in front of this, right? You can choose whether the outline includes this little gun that is right here and everything extra, or you can choose it to not. Wow, that needs to be fixed, apparently. I done glued it in there 6 times. All right, but yeah, it's in the settings. In the settings. Okay, going back to my window view. Let's do that. So don't forget, we're doing a Franken Tank fun over here. This is the page. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I'm aware of that mod. I also aware of the mod, the Hit Skins mod, EXO, where you can actually check out weak spots. But as I was saying, Waffentrager event is upon us, and Franken Tank is a thing that's going on. Don't forget that. For September, we got the Battle Pass Season 9, Season 19 on the global map, and the Waffentrager Legacy event. And then October, there's going to be Onslaught and Halloween 2022. Sell the Ram 2 again? Well, I can poke some people. I can poke some people about the Ram 2. No big deal. Anyway, Franken Tank event. Go to this page. You're gonna click here to download this thing, this connection prime. And then you can design off of that. I'm still working on the 2D portion of it. But all you got to do is download this, put it in your favorite 3D modeling software, go to this Frankenstein's tank Google form, put in your email, your game name, and then there's more how-to there. And then you're just going to add the file to your tank hole submission. That's the one we're doing first. And then the winner of that gets a nice prize package. And then at the end of Halloween stream, we're raffling off 5 of them. That. Tell you the WT12. Okay. I'll go ahead and sell it to you. I'll send you my PayPal, KRZY. You got it. You want the Super Hellcat? Okay. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. XO, that's fair. I am in that camp too. That's like, why would you? I want 3. That one. But that's that. I think all I have to do now is just say goodbye. Correct? Okay. Nope, not 15 minutes, KRZY. 4. I have to leave early today. Because we're doing the community league thing. So I'm going to be saying goodbye here in like 4 minutes. And then they're going to start up their community league stream. So. Why you can't sell decals? Why do you want to sell decals so badly? Just take the stickers and enjoy them. Love the sticker. Love the stickers. There's 600 tanks. If you got 196 of them, you got to put them on all of them. I do get off easy tonight. Teddy was the real star of the show. He was. Theodore! Let's see if he does his trick. Teddy, come here. Teddy. Come here. They're stickers. They're decals. Why don't you like stickers? Come here, buddy. There he is. It takes him a while to get around. He used to come running, but now he doesn't anymore. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come say goodbye. You're not in trouble. Hush. Fine. That's called the mama handle. He's fine. He's fine. I suppose I could. Oh, he moved my screen. Didn't he? I don't know what that is. This one? Whatever. Where's the Frankenstein link? Well, it's on the forum. So here's this one. Copy. This is the Frankentank link. That has all the links there, including the rules, the prizes, how to do it. Stay tuned because I will be adding to it. When are we doing another sheriff event? Whenever they tell me. I don't know. It has been forever. I'm still waiting. I've asked. They haven't really. Maybe Thanksgiving. There's whispers of Thanksgiving. Who knows? Definitely not before then, though. Yeah, Thanksgiving. If there's going to be one, I imagine that's when it will be scheduled, is for Thanksgiving. We like our turkey shoots. All right, everyone. thank you for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed the last mudding of this T-55 because I am putting that on the shelf. I'm done. I'm tired of looking at T-55 and this little dude that's like, that's him. See him? That's such a stupid pose. I hate it. Anyway, it's going on the shelf. It's done. You never saw a single turkey? Well, that's not on me. There's a schedule and everything. Heck, you could be the turkey. I will look into the ram too. I will do that. All right. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. I'll talk to you guys sometime soon. I think next week. Next week. All right. Bye, everyone. Oh, hang on. There we go.